Today I'm doing another review of a fragrance, specifically a Versace fragrance. This one is called Crystal Noir, and I always like these cards because they have the notes on the inside and it shows you what the bottle looks like. So this is mainly an oriental floral fragrance. I'll put some on and then I'll go into the notes. It's a pretty modern fragrance. Okay, so it's kind of light, but it's very pleasant. So the main notes that you get in the opening, the top notes, are black currant, black fig, and violet. So immediately you really get that fruitiness from the black currant fig. Very kind of sweet and juicy. Then the heart notes are tuberose, jasmine, and frangipani. I don't know what that is. It's a type of flower, I suppose. Then the base notes are sandalwood, cashmeran, vanilla pod, and heliotrope. So all very good notes. I like all of these notes. They're kind of more on the more mysterious, heavier side. Now, I have reviewed a few other Versace scents in the past, specifically Yellow Diamond and Bright Crystal. I would say, so far, Crystal Noir here is kind of like the more mysterious cousin of Bright Crystal. It has some of the same floral, fruity notes, but on a darker, heavier scale. What I do like, specifically, it has a really nice, it's heavier than Bright Crystal, but not too heavy. It's definitely not smoky, it's not leathery or musky or anything. It's still a very feminine, juicy, fruity sort of fragrance, but the slight oriental notes it does have from some of the florals and the vanilla pod, the cashmeran, that gives it a really nice kind of slightly exotic profile. And it also has a little, similar again to Bright Crystal, a little bit of a shower gel kind of bubbly, clean sort of profile, despite having these heavier notes. It's very sweet. Not as sweet as more candy sort of perfumes like La Vie est Belle, and not super sugary. This is just more of a natural fruit sweetness, which I quite like. It's very feminine, yet still natural. You know, you can imagine yourself surrounded by fig trees or something, you know, ripe fruit. And the floral notes themselves, of course, are going to be a bit sweet. It's just a very pleasant fragrance. I like the sandalwood. The sandalwood is kind of in the background, but it does hit the nose just right to make it, it grounds the fragrance, definitely. It makes it more interesting, more complex, because there are some fragrances that are very simple, they don't have much personality or complexity, and in my opinion that makes them just kind of boring. But this definitely is not boring. This is definitely more of an interesting fragrance because of all the unique notes that are blended into it. Now, all the notes in my opinion are really good. Interestingly, despite this sort of more oriental, heavier sort of approach, I would say that it's still a good daytime fragrance as well as an evening fragrance. Some fragrances are one or the other strictly, but this is definitely more a versatile option because of those fruit notes. You know, they're still light enough to be good for the daytime. Now, the longevity, I would say, surprisingly, I'm pleasantly surprised. Some of the Versace fragrances that I've tried before, like Bright Diamond, Yellow Diamond, or Bright Crystal, they were a little too light, not super long lasting. I was a bit disappointed. However, this one, I can immediately tell, is stronger, more projection, more sillage, more longevity, which overall adds, you know, it's a big bonus to the entire fragrance. So, my opinion is that this fragrance would probably last a good 6 hours minimum. If you put on more, like a lot, I put on 3 sprays here and it's pretty strong. Probably maximum 7 hours, 6 to 7, you know. Not super long lasting, but not, you know, it's not going to disappear the moment you put it on. So good, moderate to long longevity. The projection, the sillage is really good. Just even waving my wrist around here is, you know, it's already filling up this space around me. It's sticking around, which I think is a sign of any good quality fragrance. And it's actually quite an affordable fragrance compared to some other designer options, which I also like. I'm pretty sure it's under $100. Most of these fragrances, Versace fragrances, they're usually around $60-ish. So you get another bonus, and yeah, I quite like it. It's definitely, it's still, I would say, it's more luxurious than Bright Crystal and Yellow Diamond, but it can still act as a more casual fragrance. So it's very versatile, definitely. You could use it for pretty much, I would say, any occasion you could think of. You could probably get away with wearing Crystal Noir. So there you go. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you have any opinions about this fragrance, you can leave those down in the comment section below. If you liked the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe. You can always donate to support the channel in the link down below. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.